What's going on, people? You're locked into the 3Ps on a podcast with the Girl Chats with Pat.
Your boy Mills.
And your boy Life Fatima.
Okay, let's get into it. So, obviously, well, if you don't know, then you've been in a hole, but over the last week or so, obviously, Kobe has passed away. So, it's brought about a lot of conversation and a huge response. So, one of the things that we wanted to talk about today was actually the social response to a celebrity death, because it does generate this whole conversation and this outpouring and all of that kind of stuff. But then you also have to remember that there were however many other passengers on the flight that also lost their lives. So I think it's just an interesting topic to get into. I don't know who wants to put their 1p pot. Oh, keep up. You got no manners in first, but I'm going to open it up. So what was your initial... Where were you when you found out what happened?
I got a message on my phone from one of my guys that I used to work with, and it literally just said, WTF, Kobe. So I looked at it, because I hadn't spoken to him in a bit, and I was like...
Thought you meant Kobe then?
I didn't understand. I was just like, question mark, like, what's going on? Then I looked at it for a few more seconds, and I was just like, that's random, so let me just Google it. I put it on Google, and then boom, loads of things came up, and then I put it on Twitter, and I was like, fuck, this shit is real. So before I continue, rest in peace, Kobe, because for some reason that shit shocked man.
Yeah.
It shocked man differently. Like, I don't really play into the whole celebrity thing, but I do play into people that mean something to the wider community, and for him to have gone in the way that he did, obviously with his daughter, rest in peace, Gianna, and all the other people that died on that helicopter, rest in peace, all of them. Like, it's a mad thing to have happened, but yeah, I was just chilling in my room. I got shocked. The second I found out, I was telling the man them as well, and everyone was just shocked. Like, what? Really? Like, it's crazy. So, yeah.
The thing is, I think one of the, and this is why this conversation is interesting and important, is because I've realised after you've just done the same thing, is that rest in peace Kobe, rest in peace Gianna,
Yep.
and everybody else.
Yep.
So...
There was a whole family on there.
Literally a whole family. Like a whole family. Why is it that? Why is it rest in peace Kobe and Gianna and everybody else? Because a similar thing kind of happened when Salah, was that his name? In the helicopter, same kind of situation. And one of the things that infuriated me, I know I'm digressing, but I'll come back to Kobe always, but when he died, or when that helicopter went down, and they were doing their searches to find him, and this was ongoing, and then they found him, search done. And I'm saying, I remember feeling completely infuriated, because how is the search done? It cannot be. There's a wife whose husband was on the same helicopter, is still lost at sea, but they're not important enough. That's what I get from them. That he can't be. He can't be important enough. So what is that about? Why? Because the way I see it is, it's looking like certain lives are more important. Is it then? Are worth more to talk about? Because at the end of the day, trauma's trauma.
Yeah.
That wife, her husband's gone, and Kobe's wife, her husband is gone.
Impact, I suppose,
Okay.
is just the case. And as much as it sounds horrible and sounds harsh, that's a society that we live in which no one's life is valued more than others, but some lives are more impactful. And Kobe inspired millions. He inspired millions of people. And when you look at sport, you have certain people, especially I can only talk from the black community, for example. There's not many people that hold themselves well in such a way in which he was a sportsman, he was polite, he didn't have that many dramas. He had one little drama that he got put in, but nothing got proven. And it just seemed to me he was an all-round nice guy. And you don't want bad things to happen to good people. That being said, we do live in a culture in which if you are famous, people don't believe famous people die. Yeah. It shocks people. Like, you hear about Jack or Jill.
That went up the hill.
Mad thing. But if you hear about the random person down the road, you're kind of like, oh, okay. But you hear about someone who you've never met before, but it did shock me. It stopped me, and I tried to think to myself why, and I was thinking, really, I wasn't too into basketball, but I do look at certain figures within certain sports, and I'm a lover of sports, so I think it just hit me in that way, because it's it's like if Jordan died, like it's a brand in itself, and I got so used to it being there that it just flipped me out.
I think it's obviously when someone's that good at their craft.
Yeah.
So if like Federer, Nadal,
Yeah.
Messi, Ronaldo, anyone in their craft that's that good, and obviously hold weight in the sport that they do, I think when if anything did happen to them, they're always gonna have an impact. But regarding obviously people just like, oh yeah, Kobe died, and obviously 9 more people, I think that's always gonna happen, because if Kobe went on that plane and it went down, we wouldn't have heard about it.
Yeah, we wouldn't have.
We wouldn't have heard about it at all. It would have probably been news in America at large. There's a plane crash and everyone died. But obviously, because Kobe's celebrity status, and he was literally a living icon. So I think, and that's the way he was presented to us. So I think naturally in our heads, Kobe died, because that's all we're saying. Kobe died, Kobe died, Kobe died, Kobe died. 8 old people died. Like, we didn't know anything about anyone else on the plane. Obviously, we found out how many hours later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because even his daughter, we found out hours later that she passed away. You know what I mean? So I think it's always the news is
just celebrity.
Yeah, it's celebrity. So I think it's always gonna be that way, and then obviously we react from the news. So I think if the Kobe weren't in the plane, I don't think we would have heard about it. So
the thing is, I think what's bizarre is there are these moments that when a celebrity dies, but that certainly has happened in my lifetime. When a celebrity has died, it almost destabilizes you for a second. So I have this thing where I remember the moment where I was exactly when Princess Diana died. I remember
that one
where I think I was 6 at the time, and I didn't understand the impact as much at that time as obviously if that were to happen now. But I knew that something major had just happened with this woman passing away. Similar thing when Michael Jackson died. I knew exactly where I was, and it was destabilising again for a second. Whitney, and there was this succession. I think it was in 2016. There was this succession of celebrity deaths. Literally, they were just dropping one after the other. And I think the latest one that rocked me, which is bizarre, but prior to Kobe, was Cadet. That was the one that at 8 o'clock in the morning, I genuinely thought, woke up, looked at my phone, and I thought it was fake news. I legitimately thought it was fake news. And because of the time, when I Googled that, there wasn't that much there at that time in the morning. So I kind of thought, And then as the day went on, it was confirmed that, And I think, for me, the reason, digressing again from Kobe, but same thing, the reason that Cadet's death threw me completely off was because he was so young. I just started plugging Cadet anyway, and I was like, okay, he's got a bit of sauce on there, and then suddenly, you know more, and I think it reinforces the fact. I think he's a year younger than me. I don't even think he got to 27.
No, I don't think so.
So in a blink of an eye, it was, and it's just the bizarre that the moments that stay with you. Like I said, Diana was a huge one that
I'll never forget that one.
But I don't know anybody who will forget that moment, because it was just bizarre. And like I said, I was a child, but I'm not understanding the extent of what that meant, but realising that, okay, this is huge. Whatever this is huge. And then obviously it went on to be whatever it was. But I just think, I think it's sad that we do that, because if I were a member of the family of somebody who went down in the helicopter crash with Kobe and Gianna, and I was about to do the same thing, I would be enraged at the fact that I'm in the same position as his wife, let's say, and my grief is also insurmountable, but nobody really seems to give a fuck. And I think that's difficult.
Definitely. I think it's difficult, but it is just the culture that we live in, and I suppose it's just simply a case of just getting through it, because at the end of the day, when you look at certain things, as I was saying before, in terms of celebrity, it kind of gets you closer to the fact that it can just be anyone at any time.
Yeah.
It only tends to happen when it's either a massive celebrity that you know of or that you respect, or it's actually someone that is very close to you within your circle. Mm-hmm. Any other person, as bad as it sounds, it doesn't touch you or doesn't affect you. And I suppose when it comes to celebrities, you do see them every day. They are in a privileged position in which they can inspire and touch a nation or world or what have you. And it's a case of you just expect them to be there. You expect them to be invincible. And I think it's more to do with that. The fact that anyone can get it. That's basically it. Anyone can get it. And that's a shock. You just think that money equivalates to survival, and it doesn't. You can get licked down.
Literally not so.
But the last one that probably got me was probably Nipsey.
Yeah.
Nipsey died. I remember I woke up and it was trending. I thought, probably something to do with the album or whatever. And then obviously she said that he just died. Like, I'm thinking, what? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like,
said what?
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm fully confused. Like, nah. And she go for the Twitter and just see, you know, people on Twitter try and chat shit and make some bullshit rumours and that. I'm like, what's going on there? What's going on there? Literally, gone. Start Googling. Don't trust Twitter. Go on Google. It's also, he died. I think, all my life. It just makes you literally, like, I'm at work thinking about, Nipsey passed away. Like, I think anyone that had the celebrities that had the impact, they just think, make you think that, yo, you literally can go just like that. So, all the work just, once I have a mashup, but I literally just think, wow, that.
But I think that's the power, though. That is probably one of the things that has such a big impact is that thought, like, literally, it's anyone, anytime. And going back to one of the things that you're saying, like, unless it's kind of someone in your immediate circle or a celebrity, like the impact of someone passing away. One of the things that I've realised in growing up and being in situations where my mum was sick and being so close to her not being able to pull through, and that being a very, very real, realistic, tangible outcome potentially, it gives you a completely different depth of feeling for other people. That is one thing that, because I always thought I was quite compassionate. I always thought that I was able to relate or blah, 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 blah. But as I say, only he who feels it knows it. And my mum survived. She's cool, like, praise be. Like, but when you are so close to that, suddenly your empathy is on a completely different level. And so I found that moving forward, since, you know, recovery and all of that kind of stuff, that I would cry about things that I literally would never have cried about before. Like, it's sad, I hear that, okay, move on. But now I can be in the place where that person is, and the fear that comes with a change like that. The fear is amazing. You literally will never ever understand that unless you're in it. And so for me, one of the things that with this whole COVID thing that's just been mashing me up time after time is that I've been in a position where I was so close to not having a parent, and I was 24 years old. I was grown. I was able to. I didn't live at home. I could look after myself, cook, clean, work, all of that. I was good. I was set. But I remember I kept saying when the news hit me, cancer, I kept saying about, but this isn't my plan. This isn't my story. This isn't how this is supposed to go. My ending was completely different to those girls' ending. They don't have any dad now, and they are much younger than I was when I was faced with the prospect, let alone the reality. So it's like, how that's what's getting me. And not even necessarily just Kobe's family. There we go again, slipped right back into it again, because how the people have lost their children. People have lost their children going about their day. It's just crazy. It's absolutely it's crazy. But I feel like that's something that as a society we need to just look at for a second and try and figure out, like, okay, why do we feel so much there when this person, because Kobe might have been Kobe, for sure he was, but he was somebody's husband, he was somebody's dad, he was somebody's son, someone's pal. Like, he just happened to do what he had done, but the ramifications are slightly different because of his celebrity status, but they're the same. So I just feel like, as a society, I feel like we need to be more compassionate, generally speaking, when things like this arise.
it's so iffy. There's so many ways that you can go down it. Like what you were just saying in regards to what was happening to your mum. I think it links back to the invincibility factor again. And I think that you never expect any of your parents to go until it's time. I think like that, high-end celebrities that are influential in your life, people in your circle, and then yourself. Those are the things that you don't imagine dying as such. And I suppose with that aspect, that's when we have an individual responsibility to respect life in all forms. And I suppose when a celebrity does die, that's always going to be the main headline, because that sells papers, that gets clicks, and we just have to get used to that. It doesn't then mean we should disconnect or disassociate from the other people, but it's very hard because, again, TMZ, for example, they were leaking information, but at first it was Kobe, then eventually it was the daughter, and then only after that were they mentioning the other 6 or 7 people that were on board.
It wasn't just TMZ though. Didn't ABC say that none of his daughters were on the plane?
Yes, first off.
I think TMZ said all of them might be on the plane. Some next outlets.
So you're just out here talking shit.
And I remember the Denzel interview where I can't say word for word, but it said something like the media nowadays are not even looking for correct news, just want to be the first to put it out. Just want to be the first to put it out. So now people are just hearing a little bit, and if you can't get it,
we can use that.
You know what I'm saying? But for TMZ to drop, if you're going there, for TMZ to even drop the news before his family even knew about it, that's just very. To be fair, I'll be saying from day TMZ, Shade Room, all the media outlets that just. I feel like they're trying to ruin people's lives anyway. I've always said that.
They profit off the rumour mill. And
I don't rate any of them. Obviously, they're gonna say it's their jobs, but that's trash for me. That's bullshit.
It's trash, and I totally understand that, and I'm 100% backing that. But the only way that the society element, like you were saying, can change is if we don't entertain or plug any of that shit. And if I see something that, if it's a bit of gossip or something, and sometimes I will just click on it if it's in relation to something that I might be interested in. Let me find out, because that's the culture that we live in, where people get more attention or more retweets or more scope on a wider scale by chatting some bullshit about a celebrity, and that's society. I don't see that changing.
But my question is, as a curious question, in that is when you, like you said, you might see something, think, oh, what's that? Do you take that on board, or do you think, no, I'll take this with a whole heap of soul?
Always.
Because I don't think people tend to do that. I think you are part of the minority in that, because in hearing what you said, I've just realised I don't tend to just read it. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And with that, I'm kind of done, because I the naivety in believing that, well, why would you report fake news? But does that make sense? It doesn't. Why would you? It's because my mind doesn't go there. Because I would just be out here talking shit and putting it out. Because I think the media forget that the people in the stories that they're putting out and they're people. It has ramifications. They don't give a fuck. They want to sell papers, they want to sell magazines, they want to do all of these things. But at the end of the day, what you're putting, because my thing is, imagine, whether it be TMZ, Shade Room, whoever put that story out that said all of his daughters were on the plane, right? If that's come out before anyone's come to Kobe's wife, right? She could have had palpitations from now to the end of time, read that with her 3 daughters in the house and be like, it's bullshit. But it's not. It's just, in that specific scenario, the ramifications, the roller coaster ride that she would have went on, because I believe if I was in her situation and I would have seen that, let's just say, there would have been that moment where I thought, let me just call Kobe and tell you. Do you know? It's absolutely, it's disgusting. The media are disgusting. That's one of the things that are disgusting.
I'm hoping to get sued forever. I'm hoping to get sued.
You know what's mad though? Sorry.
Road man of the year.
No,
it's mad though.
Because we say the media is bad and they lie, yes, but people lie. And the thing is, we can judge them. People make mistakes. People lie to get more attention from people around them and all of these things. And that's the problem. you can't really attack the mainstream media or the news or what have you if people are doing it left, right, and centre, whether it be in your workplace, whether it be in your group of friends. Honesty is the best policy. I'll keep saying that every bloody week, innit? But it's not to say that I haven't lied in my life for whatever reasons, and it's
tell us your truth, man.
I'm with you on that one. I don't obviously that's their job to report what's happening. I don't mind them saying, "Oh, Megan Thee Stallion's dating Trey Songz," and it might not be true and like that. But when someone passes away and you don't know exactly what I want, you can't be just throwing shit out there because it's fucking up everybody else. Like people were saying Rick Fox was playing.
Oh yeah, I saw that, and he was fine.
It was fine, you know what I mean? Like this is what I'm saying. Like, and imagine if someone in his family seen that, you know what I'm saying? For what the fuck, like they can't do shit like that. I don't mind if you make up rumors, if you just see Kylie Jenner with Tiger and a late night, do all that business. I don't care about all your bullshit. But when it comes to like when there's a tragedy, you can't just be throwing random shit out there when you don't know the full news of it. I don't rate any of that.
Calm as a bitch. So I hope it does strike them. But
do you reckon they'll get sued? I know you're hoping, but do you reckon that?
No. I don't know. I don't think they'll get involved into it. I don't think her family. I don't think his wife will be thinking about that now. You know what I mean?
In this world, there's not really much you can really sue on that basis.
Yeah.
You said that someone's dead and they're not dead. They're alive.
I don't know how much it is in that.
I'm not too sure.
I don't think.
That's crazy.
I'll get into it, but
It is crazy. But yeah, that was definitely something that obviously has happened recently that I feel like has caused me to just stop for a second and just, because like I said, it's destabilising. It's definitely destabilising for sure. But I feel like every once in a while these things come along, these things happen, and it is cause to just stop for a second and just look at what's happening around you and make sure that you're doing what you need to be doing. And I feel like it pisses me off, to be fair. You know, like something like this happened, all I'm hearing is, make sure you love hard the people that you love. So hold on. You only realise today because Kobe, who you don't know, I don't know you, he's passed away, that you need to love your mum good. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? That's confusing to me.
But people want to be clout chasers online, innit?
Oh, that's
the problem.
I've seen a lot of those.
I just want to put you right there. I'm like, what? I want to see if you'd react.
Because obviously a celebrity dies, everyone wants to act as if they're affected, or make it seem like they've been inspired in some way, shape or form, so they can be seen. And it's hard to filter through the bullshit, because some people were really affected and people want to leave their little touch. I did. I wanted to say rest in peace to Kobe and Gianna. But some people that are going on there, like, make sure you, before you leave the house, you tell someone that you love them and da-da-da-da-da. Like you said, you didn't already bloody know this.
And this is what's bizarre, like, you never did know your mother, you love your mother. Like, you didn't know that.
A lot of people will do things for retweets, and like, we know what they're in it. I seen one guy crying.
No, Mills, you can't just say that.
But I'm saying, like, people, like, I'm seeing people in the comments saying, "No, you clout chasing," and some people saying, "Oh, you don't know how he deals with things." But I'm saying, if you're upset, why would you
pick up the phone and record?
And it's not like, it's not. I can understand if you got the phone and he was doing a speech saying, and then started bawling, but it literally the clip was him just bawling, and that's it.
Remember
that's it.
One from years ago, that Britney Spears one.
Britney Spears?
No,
it's
not
Britney,
her.
bitch.
Oh no. I think it was a Britney fan who started just literally crying and going berserk, basically on the fact that I think she was going through some drama, but she
Britney went through.
I think it was a woman dressed as I don't know, but they were going crazy, and I'm sure they got so many 100,000 retweets and stuff like that. And I'm not sure if they were able to make a career out of after that. But I'm sure they would have got some kind of...
people do that, you know, Bugsy Malone? You know, before he proposed to his woman, they mash up, innit? They did mash up, they split up. I saw on his Insta, he's boiling living yellow water on the camp. No, but I was confused.
He was sitting watching of the week as well, so...
Shit, no! But no, we'll scrap that. But like, he was bawling look at me going back into my yardy self, like crying, English version, living, bawling on the thing about, same thing, you know, I love this girl and I should have treated her better, but you should have known that at the time. You should have known that at the time. So what, you've come on, big Instagram now. No, I'm not sending for him. It's just bizarre to me, because the thing is, everyone's had a situation in their life where has caused them to cry, and it happened. The last thing in my mind is, you know what, let me look at my 1,000 followers on Instagram, or my however many million or whatever, and barter them. What, for sympathy? What we're gonna do? Should we give you a like? Is that comforting? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, that's the world we're in now. That's social media.
It's a dangerous world.
And like, don't get me wrong, I do like some aspects of social media. I go into it, I get the most joke and shit like that. But the thing that people do for likes and retweets is just.
Mills, let me ask you a question. No, this is serious. No, because you got straight face. You go on Instagram.
Yeah.
You see me bawling on Instagram. Me.
Yeah.
Pat, bawling, all of that, bawling. What are you doing? Are you gonna hit me up, or are you gonna?
I'm calling you straight away.
And say, come on the backside, you doing it. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. It's just not the real world. It's mad.
People are just in they're actually in the social media. Like, I live in the real world. You know what I'm saying? I go on social media and then whatever done. But people are just like I was on YouTube watching something. And obviously I go to the comments to get joke again. I think I was watching Joe Budden podcast. So I'm in the comments now. And this early morning, I'm at work early morning.
Not too
I see. Allegedly, in case anyone from work watching. Allegedly. I was watching the other day. But,
did you hear that?
Allegedly. But,
you did? I'm pissed off.
But now, seriously, I'm in the comments now. And someone said, hi guys, I just found out my uncle passed away. Could you like this? Can you show me some love and like in the comment?
I've seen that.
And I was thinking, and obviously it's got bare comments in it. So I click on it just to see what people are saying. People are like, sorry to hear that, condolences. And I'm scrolling down and I see one person. I thought, yeah, real nigga. Because he was like, listen. He literally put, listen.
He was mad. He
said, your uncle has passed away, get the fuck off the internet and go spend time with your family. What the fuck is that going to do?
He was mad.
And I thought, it's real though.
Yeah.
Why are you asking for likes? I don't get it.
It's bizarre.
I don't get it.
It is literally bizarre. But
really
you know, like, many times, like, I do all my meditation and stuff, and I'll use some off YouTube and stuff, and I always read through the comments just to see what people are saying about it prior to me listening to it, whatever. I have read some life stories and saga upon there about how I'm battling drug addiction. I'm battling me and my cocaine and my heroin and I'm homeless on the street. You got time though. You got time to find somewhere to live. You got time to log on good YouTube to meditate and then come on, you got things to do. Yeah, and this is what the wickedest thing. You probably out here doing better than me because if my Wi-Fi goes down, I'm fucked. You know, like it's I'm saying what's coming, and that is what I'm saying is bizarre. And this is the thing, I've seen so many of that, like because it's meditations and stuff. I see a lot of stuff about like positive, just general kind of stuff. Along with that, I like that. I think it's nice, uplifting. Yay, friends, lovely, cool. But when you're telling me about your mum left your dad and now your dad's back but he's got 6 kids and you're not involved and you hate him and you can't sleep at night and you don't... Why are you... What am I now sitting down reading that going to do? I look at it, I think,
I think...
like, what is it?
I think it's definitely a topic for another day because the whole social media, the addiction thing, because people are addicted to social media. Would I say I am? I hope not.
I'm on it a lot.
It's a hard.
The thing is with me though, I literally I'm not doing nothing on it.
Scrolling.
I'm just wasting time,
liking shit,
procrastinating.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I don't use Instagram. I barely go on Snapchat and post it.
You go on Snapchat and bad my life.
Let's get back on topic. But yeah, I'm on it a lot, literally like.
But for those people that share and overshare, because you have the people that overshare.
Yeah, 100%.
And you know what? Maybe a good few years back, I might have been that person. I was that person. I think everyone goes through a moment where
I don't think I've ever. Honestly, I don't think I've ever.
If I try to get everyone in,
a lot of people do it. I get
for sure.
I would say probably around 18, 19, 20 when I was smashing out Facebook. If I was going through a little drama in my life, for some reason, I wouldn't put out what my situation was. I'd put out maybe something cryptic in terms of how I was feeling.
I think the only time I've done that is probably when I was about 13, 14, MSN days.
That's where it's like.
That's the only time, like, she's pissing me off.
Yeah.
What, bitch? No. Like, I'm putting shit on there.
And if anything, no one cares.
Yeah, for real. Every time I put something, someone pops, what's wrong? But now, you go on Twitter, and you see a girl like, well, I just found out after 12 years of being together with my man to shoot. I mean, why are you on Twitter?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, for what? You know what I'm saying? And then they get likes, they get retweets. Then you click on the comment, the first thing, follow me on Instagram. Could you imagine?
This is the thing, everybody's chasing celebrity.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be important. Everybody, for want of a better phrasing, wants to be a Kobe. They want somebody to care, and that is what it's. Your mum cares, your dad cares, somebody cares. I don't. I went on Facebook the other day when I was booking the episode to make sure you look at that. And this girl had put on there about I hate ya. She had put on,
my fingers, man. I know it, man.
A man turned into Esmeralda Scissor Hand.
Can you? Girl, better stay on task. Stay on task.
I went on Facebook. And this girl, and I wanted to punch her for this. I wanted to kick her down.
What's her name?
She's pregnant. No, I'm not going to tell you anything. She put, I come on Facebook every day. Well, that's your first problem. If you got time to come on Facebook every single day, because I know she ain't got no job anyway. But I come on Facebook every day, and I hate all I'm seeing is people talking bare shit. So what the fuck are you coming on Facebook for every day? If all you are, you're telling me you're hearing people talking shit, talking about their life. That's how I know that you're pregnant. It's not the same father as the other one. Like, how do I know that? Because your business is on Facebook. No, she ain't gonna watch this. We're she's like,
I feel like people want to see negative shit and stuff because you go on Twitter and Piers Morgan will tweet.
He's a waste man.
Kate Hopkins will tweet and
can we just plug her for 1 second?
We're going to turn a bit, but Piers Morgan will tweet some fuckery shit that Kate Hopkins will tweet some fuckery. And people just make a trend. Oh, you bitch. Now honestly, go and die. Writing bare shit in her comments, just block her. Then when she tweets and she gets 2 retweets, she'll stop doing it. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, she got suspended now, so. I don't understand. Like, if I see someone tweeting fuckery, for instance, when I see like black man on there talking shit about black people, I just block you. I don't want it. I don't need to see the foolishness on my timeline. It's my timeline. You know what I'm saying? Why allow you to put foolishness on my timeline? Like, I'm not allowing it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, kind of.
No, I want to plug Katie. Please. No, the thing is, I didn't even see the whole thing. I just saw. This is what I'm saying. I saw something on Instagram this morning that said something like, this guy had come. He said, now that her Twitter's been suspended or whatever, I can say that I invited her to come to wherever it was to accept a fake award. I said, okay. You see, I forgot about it. Later on in the day, I must have saw something. All I see you next Tuesday and work. I said, nah, I'm dead. She opened her mouth and I thought, and this is why they're going to come and assassinate you, or they should, because you ain't got no fucking sense. You do not have the sense that God gave it. A woman said, if you call Mohammed in a school, was it 200 or 2,000 people will come running? I said, you can't.
Identify it. Nobody wants that. What's wrong with that?
She's mad. I actually think that she's mad.
But she's popular off that negativity.
No, but how? Is that actually got famous?
Apprentice originally.
Is it?
She was on The Apprentice. I don't even think she won it, daft bitch. And then fucking after that, I think she was a bit quiet, and then that's when the whole, when Tommy Robinson and all that kind of fuckery.
Do you know the first time I heard about her is when she was sexing in the field with a married man?
Yeah.
No,
I forgot about that.
Affair,
forgot about
what
that.
naked in the field? She was in the newspaper. That's the first time I've seen that. And I thought, who's this bitch? I thought, why is this new? I don't know her. And then, obviously, recently she's been all over Twitter. Because that's what I've seen today, trending.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, black nurse. So I didn't
She's
see
just
nothing.
offensive to
Yeah,
life.
like-
She's literally just offensive to life. And the moment that I realised that this woman was done, she was on This Morning, this was a couple of years ago, and she was that was the moment I thought, this woman's a stupid ass bitch. She's like, people that call their children will name their children after places. You know, they are, you know, they're silly and you da. And I never forget, because it must have gave Holly life. Holly was like, isn't your daughter called India? I screamed and she's like, yes, but there's no but. You're full of shit. Now you are full of shit.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even want to give it any time because it's just for what? What do you do? Why are you talking like that? You just like,
But that's not because she does this.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying people keep talking about her, and that's what she's relevant.
I think it's more of a concern in regards to why she's popular, and I think her thoughts do represent a far bigger majority, and that's why she's popular.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, especially with this whole Brexit and everything in terms of people coming into our country and taking our jobs and all this fuckery. Blah, 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 blah.
Do you know? It doesn't matter. Wherever I hear that saying, it always makes me laugh because I know that there's some geezer somewhere that is saving, literally frothing at the mouth. They've come in here. Sorry, it just gives me.
But it goes back to the whole thing in terms of you, like you were saying, Mills, you can block what you don't want to see and you have control over that. But the days in which there will be a paper that has nothing but positive news will never exist.
Oh, of course.
And it goes back to the whole what sells and what gets you the most attention, and it's negativity. We live in that world in which negativity gets spread because for some reason we want that more than we want peace and love and harmony and
that's why people want to go viral off any fuckery. They don't want to go viral off doing something positive. Like remember when they had the little craze of going in shops and using roll-on. Licking ice cream and then putting it back in the freezer.
Yeah.
And one girl got locked up for it apparently. But this is what I'm saying though. This like people will do anything to go viral. But again, we'll get into this conversation on another pod. You know what I'm saying?
Happy slap back in the day, man.
I remember I got suspended after I kicked down a boy after he tried to happy slap me.
Oh, serious?
I kicked down his backside, and the thing is, I got suspended. I boxed him, his glasses came off. I swear to God, I swear. And the thing is, I was shook on it. So then I was like, the head teacher told me like, you're suspended. I'm panicking because I'm like, listen, I can't go home any because my mum don't play that, so I was planning to run away. I never forget this. But now, when I told my mum, she was like, good. I was like, all right, cool.
The happy slap days was mad. I'm not trying to get off topic, but I was just saying happy slap. I remembered when I was in school, and me and one of my brethren were having like a slapping competition. But this was like the bell just gone for lunchtime, so I think I boxed him. But I'm running down the stairs. I boxed in the back of my head, and I've turned around and remember I've gone, boom, BS street just come out. I'm nervous again. Let's move on.
Call the police on
We keep shit. Should we get into the next topic?
Go.
Yeah, man.
Actually, before that carry on talking. Sorry.
I don't know what you were talking about. You've confused the whole thing. Can you talk to your boy?
I'm trying to get the news off everyone in the playing ground so we can say RIP to the whole list of people.
Just say everybody. No. He looked at me.
I wanted to say the names, but yeah, everyone obviously RIP to everyone, every single one of them that passed away in the playing.
And I just want to say that whether you pray, whether you don't, whatever you do, if you have any religion, you don't, you're into spirits, energy, whatever. But I just feel like at this time, send up whatever you need to send up to bring strength for the people who are left behind. Because Gianna, they need it. God knows they need it.
And all those messages that you tend to be really creative when somebody dies, live by that every single day. Rather than waiting for something to happen. Yeah.